Hello guys, this is your guy of Ebenezer, and today too I'm back here with another new tutorial. The main focus of this very tutorial is to help you create table of contents in Microsoft Word, and as well to number your pages and structure them properly. So that's all that we will focus on. So without wasting much time, let's pop open our Microsoft Word. And here I'm having a boilerplate content of which I've already pre-populated and structured it, and also intentionally left out some few things in order to demonstrate how we can do this, focusing on efficiency and the best practices. So starting with the first one, which is page numbering, we come to the first page, and in order to set numbers into a page, all you need to do is to come to the Insert tab. Then you come to Page Numbers. So when you click on Page Numbers, you'll be able to select where you want the page number to be located, being a top, bottom, or a custom position. Now, there's another way in order to insert page numbers, and with that, you come to either the top or bottom section of any page and you double click. So you have the margin at the top and margin at the bottom, which is also referred to as the header or the footer. So you double click those very spaces, any of them, then you come to the first section, of which indicates page number. So when you click on that, you get similar menu and you choose the position you want the number to be located. For this very document, I want the number to be located at the center, so I'll choose bottom page and plain number 2, which is located at the center. So when I click on that, we're having a very first number at the center of the page. Now take note, we don't want to number the first page, but as we did, the first page is already numbered. So in order to correct this very thing, you double click on this very number in order to activate the footer and the header section. And there's one thing you need to do before that. You need to create section in the page. So you come to the layout tab. Now you click on break within the first or the page setup section, and within the page break we have page break and we have session break. The one that we will focus on is the session break. So you click on next page, which is to insert a session break and start a new session on the next page. We click on that and it creates a session. So now when we come back here and double click on the footer, we realize that we are having footer session 1 and we are having header session 2. So it means that we've been able to break the pages into 2 different sessions. Now the first thing we need to also do in order to prevent the first page from being numbered is to click on different first page. So when we select this very item here, the first page won't be numbered. So take note of that. When you select the first page, you activate the footer of the first session, then you click on different first page, then the first page won't be numbered. Now we've been able to complete the first step, of which we need not to number the first page. The next one is to number the second pages from what? Roman numerals, starting from I and II and the likes. So in order to mimic this very thing, we come to this very footer here, we double click in order to activate it. Now we right click. Make sure before you right click, make sure that the number is being highlighted. If not, highlight it and right click on it and click on format page numbers. So when you click on format page numbers, you'll be given this very page number format dialog box. From here you can choose the number format being it I. So we choose the Roman numeral from here, and right beneath here we have the opportunity to choose the page numbering for it to continue from the previous session, or for it to start at any number that we allocate here. So we will start from I, so we click OK and accept the default. When we close the header, you realize that the first page is blank. We have no number on the first page, and the next thing is the declaration page, which is the page 2, is starting from I. So we've been able to number our pages properly. Now let's go down to there and see how it's reflected on the other pages. Now we've seen another problem here. Our chapter 1 and the dedication are all on one page, of which shouldn't be so, and that page is also numbered IV. And when we scroll down to, we realize that almost all the pages left is being numbered in Roman numerals, but that isn't what exactly we want to do. We want to just number some few pages with the Roman numeral. So in order to solve this very issue here, we place our mouse cursor right beside chapter 1, and usually people will be pressing the enter in order to create space. That isn't more efficient. So in order to do this the proper way, you need to come to page layout, then you break. Now when you click on break, you get similar menu like this, and we click on insert a session break and start a new session on the next page, which is what this very next page. So when we click on that, we insert a session. Now let's go down and see what happened. The Roman numerals on this very session is starting from I, and we want to number this the normal numbering. In order to edit it, you double click and you right click in order to select format page numbers, and now instead of the Roman numerals we choose the normal numbering, and we are starting from 1 because that's where we want to start, and we click on OK. So when all this is done and you click on close header, you look through and the rest of the page has been able to be numbered the right way. And when we come to the topmost part, we are having our Roman numerals, and the first page is also blank, that's we don't have any numbering. So in short, that's how you number Microsoft Word documents. The next thing to do is to create the table of content. In order to create table of content, we will place our cursor here and insert a new blank page, or we can also click on break page in order to get a new page. So I insert a new blank page, and on that very blank page I won't go and type all those things, the table of contents, but I'll use another trick. Now take note of this. When I hold down my Ctrl and F key in order to launch the navigation session and click on headings in order to see the structure of my document, you realize that my document is structured according to some specific format. I'm using H1 as in the heading 1 from the styles as the topmost topics, and the subtopics I'm using heading 2, and the subtopic of the subtopic I'm using heading 3. That's the subtopics. This enables me to generate the table of content with ease. To do this, you go through your document, and the topmost level you set them as heading 1, and the one that follows, which is the next subtopic, you set it as heading 2, and the next subtopic you set it as heading 3, and you do those things. Now take note, when you do that, by default Microsoft renders some few styles already, of which doesn't conform with our current style. So we need to change this very style in order for it to conform with our current document standard. In order to do that, we need to right click. So you right click on the style you want to modify and you choose modify. You get this pop-up which is modify style. Now you will be able to change the font size. So I'll select Times New Roman. My font is 12, is double spacing, and the color should be black, and I want this very text to be bold. So we have format here of which is having advanced features. So if you want to change the font to capital letters, when you come here you'll be able to select all caps and those things in order to set those very properties. Alright, so with that said, I click on OK and it has been able to update all those 8 tools to the current settings that I have done. But if for any other reason after editing the style and the text doesn't reflect those things, you can right click on the style and click on update heading to match selection. So when you click on that, it will update all the heading tools in your document to the current style that you have set it to. Now when you are done with all these, you realize that when you come to the heading section, you have been able to structure your document properly. And when all this is done, then you are ready to create your table of content. So in order to create our table of content, we'll click on reference, and when we come to the reference tab, right in the first section, which is what, table of content, we click on what, table of content, and we are having the automatic table 1, automatic table 2, and the rest. The one we will focus on is the automatic table 2 because it's already defined table of content. So when I click on that, it uses the headers in order to generate our table of content. So with one click, we've been able to generate the whole table of content. I highlight the table of content and I come to home in order to set it as what, H1, and also center align it and change the font color to black. And when you do this, it means that you've been able to what, quickly create your table of content, and you have no hassle of going through the pages in order to identify the page numbers and bringing it into the table of content or doing it manually. Now there's one thing I want us to take note of. With the references in this very document, I use the reference tab in order to insert them all. So for instance, this very reference, I came to manage sources and I added it as what, a new reference. So when you click on new, you'll be able to choose, being it book, journal, or whatever that it is, and you fill in the details. So the interface will change as to the kind of source you have selected. So upon doing everything, and when you click OK, it will be added to this very current list in your document. And when you are done using this very approach, then it becomes far more simple in order to generate your reference. Now there's one thing you should also consider. We have the styles here. It should conform with any style. Then you come here and choose that very kind of style that you need to use. With my current document, I'll be conforming to the APA 6th edition style guide. So when I select that and I come to the last page, I'll be able to also generate my table of what, content. But before then, I need to create a new page. So I come to insert and I create a blank page. And on this very blank page, I come to reference and I click on bibliography. And when I click on that, I have the opportunity to choose references, which is the second on the list. And when I select that, voila, the document has been able to generate all the references in the document. And there's one thing that you should also notice: it has been able to arrange them in compliance to the APA 6th edition standard. So that is it. That's how you format your document in Microsoft Word. Thanks for watching this video.